Hey everyone, this is your captain speaking, and I've got a new video for you. I'm recording from lovely San Francisco where it is pouring rain, really coming down, and I want to give you an overview of this portal season that we're traveling through. We've got a sequence of portals that we're navigating together, and I want to tell you a little more about them. I want to dive in a little bit with you and really show you what's going on. But first, if you're new to my channel, welcome. I like to do videos about astrology and tarot and communion with the sky, as well as communion with the earth. And so, yes, if you've recently subscribed to my channel, thank you so much. I'm so happy to have you aboard. And yes, if you're new, I would love it if you'd consider subscribing to my channel. I would love that. And if you end up liking this video, please hit the like button. It's so helpful to me. And if you feel inspired to do so, please share with your friends. I also love comments down below. So, yes. Today I want to just do a kind of overview. I don't think this is going to be a super long video. I just want to give you a sense of what's going on for the astrologers out there. I know some of you would like to look at the star maps together, so we're going to dive in and look at a couple of different star maps that I have here on my computer screen. You'll notice there's one on the right that'll look really familiar to astrologers because it's an astrological map of the sky. And on the left is more of an astronomical map of the sky. They're both representing the same thing, the same basic thing that you see when you go outside and you look at the sky and you observe, especially the night sky, to find where the moving lights are, the planets, and the lights that don't move, the constellations. The constellations of the fixed stars, which is the backdrop against which we're moving through space and the planets are moving through space and we're all swirling around. It's kind of complex, truthfully. But I don't think it's that complex, especially if you take some time to just meditate on what's happening. The more you commune with the sky, the more it kind of makes sense. I don't have the easiest time understanding star maps myself. I've had to sit with them for a while, but over time, they've become easier and easier for me to grasp what exactly is happening here as we travel through time-space together. So that's a long intro. Let's go into the computer here. And what I've got on the right here is the positions of the planets back on November 17th. I thought we'd just take a quick peek to see what was happening then, because that's when the portal of the expanding heart, as I'm calling it, was opening. Around there. It was definitely open before that, but you'll notice what the portal of the expanding heart is. It's a Venus-Jupiter conjunction. This here's Venus, this here's Jupiter, and now we'll come back, look over here on the left. It's the same thing, except where it's easier to see what's going on as the Earth is moving around the sun and all the other planets are moving around the sun. It's a different way of looking at it. And you'll notice here is where the Earth was on November 17th. And notice that if you follow down here to Venus, directly opposite the Earth is Venus in a line. And behind that is Jupiter. Earth, Venus, Jupiter alignment, a Venus-Jupiter conjunction, we call it. And right here, you can see the moon back here. It's almost representing, yeah, if you go back here a couple days, you see where the moon is down here? The moon would be back over here with the moon on one side of the Earth and Venus and Jupiter on the other. But what happened after that is we had look where the moon's going here. The moon came and joined Jupiter and Venus on the 27th and 28th. So let's look over here at that. Here's the 27th. See how the moon is now on the other side of the Earth? And it's basically in alignment with Venus and Jupiter. So it goes Earth, Moon, Venus, Jupiter. Here you have to imagine, on the chart on the right, you have to imagine the Earth is in the center, and basically this is the geocentric representation, how things look from the Earth, and this is more the heliocentric perspective. Well, it's a perspective from totally outside of the solar system, but with the sun at the center versus in the astrological chart, the Earth is at the center. But that's not my point here. It's valuable for some of you to understand this. I think it is. It's been cool for me over the years as I have understood it more and more, and I don't worry about it when I don't. I just feel like I'm getting it a little bit more every time I reflect on it, especially if I combine looking at the star maps with actually communing with the sky, which is what I recommend here on the channel. For those of you who are really kind of taking up a daily practice of astrology, I think it's very helpful to look at these charts. Now, I think you don't need to do this. And so I think if you just understand the general idea that we've moved into a portal, as we did here on Thanksgiving in the United States, where the moon and Jupiter and Venus were all in alignment with the Earth. You can see it here on the left. Amazing. And then here on the right. That's what I'm calling a portal. When the Earth is aligned, particularly with two or more other planets. The Earth aligns with all the planets each day as we rotate on our axis, but it can align with two or more planets in rarer instances. Rarer. Every day we align when planets rise and set on the eastern horizon or the western horizon, but then we get these larger alignments. They're all portals. I think it's really cool to do a sunrise portal. That's where you're just getting up and seeing where the sun kisses the Earth at sunrise, or at sunset you observe how the sun kisses the earth as it goes into the underworld, into the night. And you can be aware of all the planets rising and setting each day. 10 planetary bodies that I focus on primarily. At some point every day they rise and they set. That's 20 different moments you can pay attention to. Or you can just choose one, the sun rising or the sun setting, that's 2 I guess. Or the moon rise, the moon set, that's 2 more. You can pay attention to just those. Those are nice to acknowledge each day. I particularly tend to be aware of where the sun is, and the sun, when it rises and sets, and when it's daytime and nighttime, that's easy to track, right? It's not necessarily as easy to follow the position of the moon. But okay, what's the point of all this? I just want to show you what we've just been going through, this amazing Venus-Jupiter portal of the expanding heart. And once you travel through a portal, you always have access to that portal in your imagination. And the way in which memory is a kind of time travel machine, where you can go back, like we can go back, I can go back to what was happening on Thanksgiving. And that's where I kind of locate the Moon, Venus, Jupiter portal in my consciousness. By going there, I can kind of tune into the frequency of the Moon, Jupiter, Venus triple conjunction on Thanksgiving. I can go there in my consciousness. And then I always have access to the gifts and lessons, the medicine of that particular portal, where I can remember, wow, I moved more into abundance consciousness on that day. My heart was expanded and it led to different possibilities. By allowing my heart to expand, I found new timelines opening up. And that can happen any moment. I can return in my consciousness to that unique moment in time. I believe astrologers are connoisseurs of time. That's why we are time travelers. We chose a very particular moment in time to be born under or into. And that's the frequency we were attracted to. We were very attracted to a quality of a moment in time, so much so that we dove down here to planet Earth and were born. So what am I saying? We're attracted to certain moments of time. We learn to realize that certain moments in time have certain qualities that we can tune into and gain medicine from, gain gifts from, expand our consciousness into new territories, move on to more positive timelines. That's what I think I'm talking about. That's what portaling is for me. It's an opportunity to really explore and deeply experience and enter into deep relationship with moments in time that have unique possibilities. And so that's what was happening here around Thanksgiving. Of course, there's the larger portal. Check out the portal of the expanding heart video to go into this more. But that's what we're coming out of. We've just come through this kind of, I don't want to call it a wormhole. It's a portal that has led on to new timelines. And since then, let's move forward here. Since Thanksgiving, I want to go back to, I guess this is what I want to do. So today, as I record this, it's December 7th. And look what's happening up here. You can see on the 4th, Venus is about 10 degrees away from Jupiter over here and about 8 degrees away from Saturn over here. So what's the bigger story? Notice how Jupiter has moved into Capricorn. And notice how Saturn and Pluto are in Capricorn. And then notice that Jupiter is only 18 degrees away from Saturn and about 21 degrees away from Pluto. That's not far. And I really encourage you right after sunset, not only to look for Venus and Jupiter, but definitely now look where Saturn is and look how Venus is getting closer to Saturn day by day. In fact, if we now go forward to today, okay, here's December 7th and let's see. Let's move forward here. Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. Here's where we are. Now look over here. This is where the Earth is. And here's Venus. And now see how it's more in a line with Saturn? Earth, Venus, Saturn. It's not Earth, Venus, Jupiter. It's Earth, Venus, Saturn. That's the line we're talking about. Now, you can notice on the right here that the sun, the position of the sun from the perspective of the Earth, is getting closer to Jupiter. So that's why you can kind of see the Earth is close to the sun. It's close to aligned with Jupiter, and it's also in this alignment with Venus and Saturn over here. So my point is, the big picture is that Jupiter is coming into this triple conjunction with Saturn and Pluto. And that's going to be happening. So if you look after sunset and you notice in the hour after sunset, look where Jupiter is. Look where Jupiter is. And then look how close Saturn is. You have to have a clear sky and not a lot of light pollution to see this. If you have an awesome telescope, you can see it amazing. I haven't done that yet. I would love to, but I don't know if it's going to happen. But just notice how close Jupiter and Saturn are getting. They're only 17, 18 degrees apart. That's not far. But if you pay attention over the next few weeks, they're going to get closer. They're going to move closer and closer day by day. And it just so happens that Venus and the sun are coming close to this alignment. And eventually Mercury is going to come across Jupiter and Saturn and Pluto. And then later in the spring, Mars is going to come onto Jupiter and Saturn and Pluto. This is the same everywhere on Earth. When I say spring, that's the northern hemisphere. Obviously, for those of you in the southern hemisphere, it's your fall, your autumn. And yes, okay, so here we are on the 7th, and look how close Venus and Saturn and Pluto are. That's becoming a really tight triple conjunction. Also over here, they're really in a pretty strong line. Oh, here's Pluto, I haven't mentioned that yet. But here's Pluto, Earth, Venus, Saturn, Pluto. And Jupiter's going to come in here, and it's going to be in that larger alignment. Earth, and then Jupiter's going to be really forming a close alignment. But you can see here how a portal is basically when these planets, they align, like the metaphor is sort of like a lock, where a key opens a lock and where the tumblers have to all get into alignment with the notches on the key. When the planets get close enough into alignment, it's like some kind of energetic thing happens. I think it's partly just a consciousness wave, a powerful alignment of these profound energies, profound, deep expressions of consciousness, the planets. When they get into alignment, it's like something unlocks, and there are amazing possibilities that unfold. And so I'm going to be doing a lot of videos in the coming months about this Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto triple conjunction. And so we're going to talk about the meanings, but I mostly just wanted to show you what's happening here. And so let's just go forward day by day here on the chart on the right. So tomorrow is the 8th, and just watch what happens with Venus here. By the 9th, it's just 1 degree from Saturn, 4 degrees from Pluto, and then day by day, you can see there it's totally exact on the 11th and 12th and 13th. It's still super, everything's within 4 degrees here. You can see around the 14th, the moon, 13th and 14th, the moon is opposite all of this. So the Earth is between the moon on one side and Venus and Saturn and Pluto over here on the other. And then we continue, and there's a cool thing that's starting to come in here. You see how the sun is coming into alignment with Jupiter. I mentioned that a little earlier. If we go forward to the 17th, see how the Earth over here is now really in a strong alignment with the sun and Jupiter. Straight line, basically, that's starting to form around the 17th. Venus is still in its tight triple conjunction. See, Earth, Venus, Saturn, Pluto, those are still in a pretty strong alignment. It's getting a little broader by the 17th, right? It's full 8 degrees past Saturn. It's 6 degrees past Pluto. But the Sun Jupiter conjunction is becoming more exact in here. So I'm going to have a video on the Sun Jupiter conjunction. I haven't come up with a great name for it. I got to tune into it. But I think it might be like the portal of the radiant self. I don't think that's it. The portal of being, let's see, the lucky star portal. I don't like that either. But Jupiter has to do with luck, and the sun obviously is a star. Becoming a big star, that's part of it. But yeah, I'll figure out the name of the portal as we get closer. But you can see by the 17th it's coming in, and by the 20th, I've been listing the 20th is kind of when the Venus, Saturn, Pluto is over. You know, Venus goes into Aquarius. It's still within 10 degrees. It's like we'll still be coming out of this wave. I mean, we'll have surfed it. We'll have had all kinds of experiences. And then we're going to be moving out of the portal around the 20th, but then it's like big time integration. You've taken in the medicine. It's going to still be there. But yeah, we're going to move more into a Sun-Jupiter conjunction as we get to the 20th. And then just notice what happens the 21st, 22nd. So December 22nd, we've got the the winter solstice here in the northern hemisphere, summer solstice in the southern hemisphere. And we're getting close to Christmas, everybody. And basically the celebration of the birth of new light, rebirth into new light coming back here in the northern hemisphere. It's different in the southern hemisphere, but that's another video. And so the other thing I just want to point out here, and I'm going to have a video about this, but notice what's happening on or very close to the Christmas holiday. You got a new moon here around noon here in California, but it'll be at different times in different parts of the world, a little bit different. But basically on Christmas, an exact new moon within 1 degree of Jupiter. That's pretty cool. I did some research. There hasn't been a new moon exactly conjunct Jupiter on Christmas since way back in about 1924. So maybe I'll call it the Miracle of Christmas portal, Miracle of Kwanzaa portal, Miracle of New Light portal. But I still got to figure that one out. And then basically you can see what's happening here. Let's go ahead to the 25th. On this, you can see, look, Earth, and then the moon is right here, and then the sun, and then Jupiter. Totally exact alignment. Super cool, everybody. And you can see Mercury's coming in at this point. See, Mercury's getting close to being conjunct Jupiter. It's actually just 10 degrees away here on the 25th. So you're moving into a Mercury-Jupiter conjunction, and then the sun from this point is basically, you can see Jupiter and Saturn are just 15 degrees apart at this point. That's definitely an official Jupiter-Saturn conjunction fully coming in at Christmas. And the new year, 2020, is going to be a lot about this Jupiter-Saturn conjunction in a triple conjunction with Pluto. And that's what we're going to be really exploring. And we'll be able to do that really well as the Sun and Mercury and eventually Mars come onto it. Let's see here. So yeah, you can see day by day, Sun moving closer to Saturn, Mercury tight on Jupiter here. And yeah, they're basically you got 5 planets all in Capricorn, and that's the Capricorn portal of 2020. I'll have to do something about that. And I think you get the picture. You get the picture. I think this only goes forward to about not sure. How far does it go? Goes to the 5th. So here's January 5th in this program. Earth, Sun, Mercury, Jupiter, quadruple conjunction. See that? Earth, Sun, Mercury, Jupiter. And the moon will come into play a little bit later. Like the full moon, January 9th. Yeah, that's strong. They got Jupiter, Mercury, Sun, Saturn, Pluto. 5 planets all in a... That's a super portal, and it's opposite the moon. That's going to be a big video. So I think you get it. We got a lot going on. I wanted to give you kind of cosmic perspective, cosmic overview. And yes, I'll have more updates. If you like this video, I'd be super grateful if you hit the like button. I would love comments. If there's questions, I know this is a little bit more technical. If you've got questions of, maybe if you want me to try to do something better, I can do it in a future video. I can try to articulate this better if needs be, but if it's really helpful, I'd love to know that too. And if you're making connections and you're starting to understand the sky and commune with the sky more potently, I'd love to hear about it in the comments, and I'll be sure to respond. And yes, please share this with anyone you think would benefit from it. Anybody that likes to look at star maps and imagine the cosmos and all of the amazing beings of consciousness that are out there in the stars, the planets, and beyond. So yes, and I would love it if you'd subscribe. If you subscribe, please hit the notifications bell. check out my website, stels.biz, matthewstelzner.com. I do readings. I'd love to work with you if that feels right. Blessings.